as a faculty member and administrator. I come as a representative of my university to interview prospective undergrads. Ironic that only this official capacity could get me to come home again. My work is done for the day, and I meet up with an old friend from college. I haven't seen Michelle in a few years, though we've maintained contact over time. I love her, and she's the first woman I've ever loved. Years ago, we were drawn to each other for various reasons. She moved to the United States when she was 5 years old, and she's originally from Jalisco. We met in college, and I was in the midst of rethinking my Mexican-American identity through a Chicana feminist framework, and she pushed me to problematize the way I thought about my own identities. In some ways, I probably fetishized her as authentic as I sought to define myself. She was drawn to me because I was the only other Latina in our class, and I was white. Much like my grandmother, who proudly called me La Güera and embraced my whiteness, Michelle also desired it. After all this time, we remain friends, and she comes to see me while I'm in Phoenix. We decide to go out for a drink, finding a local bar by my hotel. As we sit sharing memories and thinking about the future, we see a large group of mostly men gathered on the patio, dressed in matching jackets that announce me from the organization. These men are bikers. However, we don't know what brings so many of them together. We venture out to the patio to see if we can figure out the mystery. The group of men is mostly white and in their 40s or older. However, another group suddenly arrives. These men are mostly Latino and slightly younger. Michelle begins a conversation with one, perhaps the youngest there, asking him what their organization is about. He explains that all of the men are Border Patrol agents, and they have formed this bike club. The majority of them are from Tucson. Seeing us engaged in conversation with their friends, some of the other Latino agents come over and start asking us questions as well. We give some background information and exchange pleasantries. Michelle and the men speak in Spanish, and I sit trying to make sense of their conversation. Michelle marks my identity for me and lets them know that I'm Latina, and suddenly their demeanor toward me changes, and things become a lot friendlier. As the night wears on, we're invited back to the resort where they're staying for an after party. Though the days of after parties are long behind me, perhaps it is being with Michelle that makes me feel youthful. Memories of her and I taking youthful risks, and seeing the desire in her eyes for one more adventure, I agree. Once we arrive at the resort, we sit on the couch and start talking with some of the Latino officers with whom we exchanged pleasantries earlier. Now, at this point, my emotions are mixed. I do not want to know these Border Patrol agents. I do not want to put a face to them, and I don't want to imagine they are Mexicanos too. I feel like I'm being a traitor sitting with them. I don't even know what to talk about, so I remain silent. Now, this is not a problem for Michelle. As we continue sitting with the agents we met earlier, another agent, an older white man who is clearly intoxicated, joins us. He's introduced to us and he hears Michelle speak, and he catches her slight accent, and the interrogation begins. Are you in this country legally? Do you know we could take you in? The Latino officer next to Michelle, with whom we started the conversation, gets embarrassed and starts laughing nervously. Michelle likes to play games, and she knows he's drunk, so she refuses to give him a straight answer about her status.
Okay.
His interrogation continues as he states, you know, I could have you arrested and deported before you even had a chance to call a lawyer. She laughs and continues to evade him, while another Latino agent tells him to stop. Now is not the time for work. The agent who interrogates Michelle says, hey, even if you were illegal, I wouldn't turn you in because we're partying. Now, his statement brings me little comfort. Though Michelle is a US citizen, I'm nervous.
Bernadette, we lost you. Bernadette? How do I get out of this?
Click on the exit button on the top left.
Okay, so we did. Let's just get her back.
That was so rude. You Skype it. I mean,
You
if she's on a computer, like her Wi-Fi probably turned off or something like that, her computer and battery, maybe,
Give me instant message. They're away from CS. Oh, it's gone.
She need an amplifier. You gotta like plug it into the speaker. If you plug it into the speaker.
Transportation is a drive towards speed which eliminates distance. So everything is kind of the same on many space. Really? So people are running the same on the same time with our iron drive to go down. Stuck behind cycle houses.
Let me try to Skype her.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
You have the
Why is Willie on Skype?
What did you say, Tyler?
my coach is on Skype.
I said, why is Willie on Skype and not here?
Yes, why is Willie my
Good
coach on
question.
Skype?
Good question. Good call. That's your coach, huh?
We should just chat. See what he's doing.
Yeah, we should bust him. You know, there's other shows. You know, one doing many fun things right at once.